Hello everyone, welcome to LimeGuru session. In this video, we are going to learn about Yarn. So basically Yarn, it's a resource manager which helps you to allocate resources and manage the resources in a cluster. So in these days, whatever processing you have to do in the big data ecosystem, the processing happens in a distributed way. So let's assume you have a big cluster where you have multiple nodes in the cluster, right? And then you have data within these nodes also. You have let's say data here also, on this node also, as well as this node also. So earlier what used to happen was, let's say whenever you need to submit your job, so what used to happen earlier was the data used to come to the job and then processing needs to happen. But this model was not scalable when the data was huge, and that's why big data became so popular. Because in big data ecosystem, the distributed processing happens, but your data does not move to your job. Your job in fact moves to your data, all the nodes where your data resides. So your computation will move to all those nodes, and then the computation will happen on those specific nodes only. So that was the concept of big data framework at a high level, and that is how the Hadoop framework works internally, right? Now if I take an example of MapReduce, how it used to happen. So let's say you have a MapReduce job, so you submit the MapReduce job, then job gets submitted to a job tracker. So job tracker, you can think it as it's a tracker which will manage your job, right? So you submit your job, and the role of the job tracker was that it will find out that all the relevant nodes where your job execution needs to happen, right? So job tracker will find out all the nodes. It will ask for the resources that, okay, you need these resources on this node as well as on this node as well as on this node, so that your computation can happen. And when I say resources, what those resources are, those are primarily CPU, your memory, and then your network related stuff, like on which rack, on which data center these nodes are located. So it needs to locate all those nodes. So all those networking related things, memory in terms of RAM, whether you need 1 GB, 2 GB, what type of processing memory is required, and then the V cores or CPU or the cores that you require to process your job. So that thing was done by job tracker. So once job tracker identifies that, okay, these three nodes your job has to execute, it will spin up a task on all these jobs. So your task will be running here, then your task will be running here, and then your task will be running here also. So there will be a task tracker launched on all of these nodes. So here also you will have task tracker, here also you will have task tracker, and here also you will have task tracker. Once your job is launched, then task tracker, so let me write down here task tracker here also, then you have task tracker here also, and then you have task tracker here also. So this is my task tracker, this is my task tracker, and this is my task tracker. The job of task tracker is that it will check the status of the task, and it will report back the status back to your job tracker. So this task tracker will also report the status back to job tracker, and all the task tracker will report the status back to job tracker. So in a way, job tracker is doing two things. First thing is that it is allocating resources for your job, and the second thing is that it is also managing your tasks. So whether any task is failing or not, all the tasks are running fine or not, so all the task tracker are reporting the status back to job tracker. So in a way, your job tracker does two things, allocating the resources and managing the task, and this used to happen in Hadoop 1. So there are few major challenges with this approach. The major challenge is that job tracker is the single point of failure in this case. If job tracker goes down, your resource manager is down, your task management is down, everything goes down within your MapReduce job. And also job tracker is overburdened in this case. let's think of a scenario where you have multiple tasks running, multiple jobs running. In all those scenarios, job tracker is overburdened. It will, because it is doing two different things. It is managing the resources also within your cluster, and it is managing the different tasks also, which is the different execution. It's managing those things also. So job tracker, it's not a scalable approach. So somewhere there will be a limit hit when job tracker process will break down, and it will say that now it cannot handle more jobs, more resources, resource management, and it cannot manage more tasks. So this becomes a job tracker becomes a bottleneck in Hadoop 1, and that is where the solution came into Hadoop 2. And before going into Hadoop 2 solution, one more limitation with this approach was that because this job tracker is a concept dedicated to MapReduce jobs only, and managing the resources was tightly coupled inside job tracker, so resource management and task management was only possible for MapReduce jobs. So MapReduce jobs, as you all know, that it's a batch driven job. But let's say tomorrow you come up with any new framework. Let's say we have Spark today, we have Storm today for near real-time processing, we have Spark Streaming today for near real-time processing. So for all those scenarios, this framework wouldn't have worked because job tracker was tightly coupled with MapReduce jobs, and all these resource management and task management was part of only MapReduce framework. So that was also one of the limitations, that you cannot leverage any new framework for resource management and task management within Hadoop ecosystem. So because of all these lacking features, that job tracker is overburdened, scalability issues were there, job tracker was single point of failure, and it was only limited to MapReduce. There was a need to reinvent the wheels, and that is where Yarn came into picture. So let me write down here Yarn. So what Yarn is? So Yarn is basically, in short form, it is called yet another resource negotiator. So in the previous section, we discussed that job tracker was doing two things. One is allocating the resources, and then second was managing the task, right? Now in Yarn concept, this allocation of the resources, this job has been moved out from the job tracker, and this has been made part of Yarn. So Yarn is now basically responsible for allocating all the resources and managing all the resources within your application or within your jobs. So this has been abstracted out from MapReduce job tracker, and it has been made part of Yarn, right? So if I draw a line here, so let's say you have a Yarn framework here, and let's say now, because this is a resource manager, and it internally has also different components which we are going to discuss now, but let's think for the time being, Yarn is a resource manager which has been moved out from MapReduce job tracker. So now any framework, let's say it is MapReduce, or it is your Spark framework, or let's say it is Storm, or it is let's say HBase or Thais, any framework, right? Any framework wants to leverage resource management. If they need resources in your Hadoop cluster, they can get the resources. All of these framework can get the resources from Yarn. Yarn will provide these resources to each of the framework, and then it will submit the job onto different nodes into the cluster, right? So now Yarn has the responsibility of managing the resources, and then this resource management can be leveraged across different technologies, as I talked about, and any new technology which will come into in future in big data ecosystem, they can leverage Yarn because it's an independent component made now dedicatedly for resource management in your Hadoop cluster. So it can be leveraged reused across many frameworks. It becomes a centralized piece for doing only one responsibility, which is resource management. Right now, because it's a centralized component, it's moved out of MapReduce job tracker. Job tracker also doesn't have now much of the responsibility to do all of those resource management things. And even in Hadoop 2, job tracker, we don't call it now job tracker. We call it now application master. And we'll discuss the example also that how with the introduction of Yarn, how the MapReduce paradigm has been changed, which we discussed earlier. Earlier we used to have job tracker and task tracker. Now all these terminology, how these terminologies have been changed with the introduction of Yarn. So we'll discuss that also. But before discussing that, so I just wanted to tell the benefits of this approach, that now it is not limited to MapReduce job that we talked about. No burden on job tracker now. It is more scalable approach, right? Because Yarn has been given a single responsibility now to manage the resources. So we can make it more scalable. It's not overburden, right? And it manages the resources efficiently also, because when somebody has some single point of responsibility, then we can make that architecture more efficient. So Yarn manages all the resources very efficiently. And again, talking all these resources we are talking about CPU, we are talking about memory, and we are talking about the networking related stuff. So all these resources Yarn manages very efficiently. So these are the benefits of Yarn. Now let's discuss how Yarn works internally, how the resource management happens, how the resource allocation happens, and let's discuss it with the help of a MapReduce job. So let's take an example. So let's say now you are submitting your job, right? So whenever you are submitting your job, now your job, instead of going to job tracker, it will go to resource manager. This is my Yarn resource manager. So your job will go to resource manager, and what it will do is resource manager, because in the job also you are going to have two things. One is your kind of job tracker, which we call application master in this case. So this job, when you submit to resource manager, what it will do is it will create a application master in one of the node in your cluster. So let's say you have multiple nodes in your cluster. So these are multiple nodes in the cluster. So once you submit your job to the resource manager, it will ask for the resources from different nodes. And on one of the node, you will get your application master for this particular job. Once you get your application master, then after that what will happen? Different containers will be launched. For example, one container will be here and second container will be here. Container 1, container 2, and container, you can think it as a task tracker or your actual task which will be executed, right? So application master will now manage the different tasks. Let me color code it in a different way. So your application master will manage different tasks. So let's say C1 is one task, and then C2 is another container, which is another task, right? So if you see here, now your application master is managing your task, right? So this is my application master for this particular job. Application master is managing your task, which is running on container C1 and container C2. And resource manager duty was to allocate the resources. So it has allocated resources on node N1, on node N2, and node N3. So are you able to visualize that how these responsibilities have been bifurcated now? So earlier both the things were being done by job tracker, but now because we have submitted our job to resource managers reached out to these nodes, and there are different processes running on each of the nodes. So there is node manager running here, node manager process running on every node manager running here, then node manager running here also, and node manager running here also. So resource manager communicates with node manager and it negotiates the resources, and after negotiating the resources, once it gets the confirmation back from the node manager that okay, resources are available, it launches application master, and then after that different containers are launched for that particular job. And this thing only happens after resource manager has confirmed that okay, resources are available, and the confirmation is given by node manager. So node manager, you can think it's a process running on every node. So let's say this is my node. In this node I have node manager process running, but within my node I can have different containers also running. So application master, you can think of one container, then you can have multiple container running for different jobs, but you have only one node manager running. So the duty of node manager is that it checks what all resources are available in my node, and then it reports the status back to resource manager that okay, resources are available, you can go ahead with this node, right? So in this way, now there are two things happening. Once you submit your job, resource manager negotiates the resources, and once it has got the resources have been allocated to you, then it launches application master as a first step, and then as a second step your containers are launched, and then your containers are managed by your application master, right? So after that your normal job execution take place, and let's say if any node failure happens and this application master says that okay, this container has failed, this task has failed, so it needs more resources, application master will again ask resource manager that okay, I need resources on some other node because of failure. So resource manager will again negotiate the resources from any other node through the node manager component. It will get the container, and then application master will start tracking that new container. So in this way the whole process works. So on the blue line what I am sharing here, it's my container management or task management. Now task management is being done by application master, right? This task management is done by application master, which I was showing here. And application master, you can think of it is also one of the container on any of the node which is created by resource manager. And then allocation of all the resources, identifying the nodes on which nodes the container has to be launched. So that job is done by resource manager. So resource allocation is done by your resource manager. So these were the two tasks which I was saying. Now these have been bifurcated now. Resource allocation and your task management. These tasks have been bifurcated. Task management is being done by application master, and resource allocation is being done by your resource manager. I hope you get the overall flow. Now we'll talk about few more components within resource manager. So if I make it the resource manager here again, so resource manager has two different components. What are these two components? One is your scheduler and other one is your application manager. So basically scheduler is the component which negotiates the resources and allocates the resources for your job. And application manager, so whenever you submit the job, So basically you submit that job to an application manager. So basically it manages what all jobs have been submitted to resource manager and what all jobs it has to process from the scheduling perspective, from the resource management perspective. So resource manager also has been bifurcated in two different components in terms of responsibilities. Application manager just manages what all jobs have been submitted by the client, and after seeing that okay, particular job has been submitted, it scheduler comes into picture, which schedules your job into different containers. It assigns different containers within different nodes in your cluster. So you have different nodes in your cluster. So scheduler basically gets the resources in any of the node and then assigns those resources to your cluster. Now this scheduler also are of different types. For example, there is a capacitive scheduler, then there is a fair scheduler, and then there is a FIFO scheduler. So briefly talking about that, FIFO is very much clear from the name that any job which is coming for the resource to the resource manager for the submission, it follows a FIFO concept, first in first out. Whichever job will come first will be allocated the resources first. Fair scheduler is, you can think of at a high level that it gives a chance to all the jobs in a fair way for the execution. So all the jobs are given fair chance for execution in terms of resource allocation. And capacitive is something where you give some fixed resources to your jobs. So that this is the difference at a high level: fixed resources versus all being given a fair chance versus first in first out approach. So there are different scheduler. I mean, in detail you can read about it. It internally follows a queue system also in terms of allocating, submitting your jobs, assigning containers to your job. So it follows the queue system also internally. And I mean, in this session I'll just take the brief overview about this scheduler concept. So these are high level components of Yarn Resource Manager, which I wanted to talk about, right? And we already talked about earlier that when you submit your job, now whether it's a Spark job or MapReduce job or whatever it is, resource manager creates a app, negotiates the resources that this job, let's say, requires 10 containers. It will negotiate the resources with node managers running on different nodes. It will negotiate the resources. It will identify the nodes. Let's say this particular job 1 has to run on these two nodes, node 1 and node 2. Then it will launch a application master, and then it will launch a container also in these different nodes. So you will have one application master, and then you will have a container which will execute the task, and node manager will keep on reporting the status back to resource manager that how many resources a particular node is left with, right? So this is how it works, and this is how it communicates with different job execution. I hope you got the overall idea about Yarn Resource Manager. I tried to keep it very simple. We discussed that how things were working in Hadoop 1 through Job Tracker. Then we moved to Yarn, which was introduced in Hadoop 2. And then we discussed that how things become more scalable when we bifurcated the responsibility of resource management and task management. That's all which I wanted to cover. If you like this session, do press the like button, do share this knowledge with others, and do subscribe LimeGuru channel. Thank you for watching.